Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. This is something very different to what I've done in the past, but I was excited about it. I'm very excited about it. Today I thought I'd share with you how I stayed organized digitally as an artist, as a freelancer and a small business owner. Just to preface this video, this isn't going to be like these are the 10 apps you need to stay organized. It's not a deep dive into all of the tools that I use. This is just what I have learned that works for me. These are the systems that are working for me to keep track of my work, manage my projects, assignments, content that I'm sharing online, and just stay sane, juggling all of that in my creative life. And what works for me may not work for everybody. This may absolutely not be somebody's cup of tea. I get that, but I've spent many years trying out planners, like note-taking tools and systems and apps to help me stay on top of things. Coming out of all of that, this is finally something that I'm proud to share that this is working for me. I realized that I need things to be really simple or I just won't keep up with them. So in this video, I'm sharing the very pared down tools and methods and systems that I use. Nothing fancy, just the essentials that keep me moving, and I hope they can help you out too. So let us get started. I'm gonna start my screen recording, and maybe I'll put myself in a little circle at the bottom corner. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Right off the bat, I do want to get out of the way some of the creative apps that I use just to create my artwork and all of the other things. The very first one, of course, is Procreate. I use it on my iPad. Basically, all of the illustrations that I have, everything is mostly done on Procreate. I do also sometimes use Adobe Fresco, very rarely. Only when I have a specific need for an illustration will I go to Adobe Fresco, but mostly all of my work is on Procreate. Then I use Adobe Illustrator for most of the graphic designing work. A lot of my client work is on Adobe Illustrator. Even some of my business work things is on Illustrator. And recently I've started using Adobe Express to design some of the things. So my posts and text designs, like posts with text, basically most of my design heavy work is coming from either Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Express. Other than that, I also use Adobe Lightroom to edit my photographs. I have a set of presets that I've made for the way that I like to edit my pictures, and almost all of my pictures are just a combination of those presets. Then I do have DaVinci Resolve, which I use to edit all of any kind of video that you see on any of my platforms. So YouTube videos, Reels, everything comes from DaVinci Resolve. Alright, have I covered everything? And lastly, I have also started using Adobe Podcast for recording voiceovers and my podcast on Patreon. I've been loving it. It works really well. I don't have a mic that I use, like a recording mic. I just record off of my MacBook, and I mean, the sound quality so far for what I have the bandwidth for, it's working great. So far so good. Now that's out of the way, let's get into the actual programs. I have used Notion for a lot of my life, for a lot of the things that I need to get done. And Notion has been a pretty big tool in helping me organize. I use it for work life, for personal life, budgeting, inventory, content tracking, all of that. And the thing that happened with me is, while using Notion, I ended up spending more time perfecting my databases to track the work than actually doing the work. I realized I need something simpler, something not so intensive to keep track of the work that I'm doing. Now, I love Notion, absolutely one of my favorite tools to ever exist. I just realized that I had to simplify my systems and keep them to an absolute bare minimum to actually use it and get some mileage out of it. So, right now, what my Notion looks like is something very, very simple. I have moved all of my intense content trackers out of here. I've tried calendar, Notion tracking, content tracking, databases on Notion. I've tried, I'm going to put out this and this and this on these days, dividing everything based on all the different social media accounts that I have, keeping track of the tasks, the subtasks. I've tried all of that. Again, it got too much for me and I had to sort of take a step back from that. And this is what I have at the moment. This is the most basic thing you'll ever see. The content tracker database, this space right here, this is only the absolute necessary essential items that I need to cover every month. So if I don't do anything else in the month and I only get these things done, that's kind of enough for me. I like to leave room for spontaneity for all of the other tasks that I have, all of the creative projects and posts that I want to make. I don't track those. I do note them down, as I will show you in a little bit. I do note them down, but I don't really track them as such. What I do track is things that I need to be putting out monthly for sure, weekly for sure. And there's a very simple, pretty much self-explanatory database that I have. At the top here, I just have some reset buttons. Every end of every week or at the end of every month, I will just come back in and reset my monthly or weekly tasks. So what I do have here is 2 posts that have to go up on Patreon. I have that for sure. Then I have exclusive videos that I like to make sure that I put up on Patreon. I haven't been doing that, a little bit lacking in that area, but we will pick up. Then is my YouTube video, the podcast. I'm still figuring out what I mean by monthly inspiration blog. It's just something that I want to write and share on Patreon once a month. Then I have a monthly digital download that wallpapers or maybe coloring pages if it's separate from the ones that I'm already sharing, or desktop icons or anything else that I can offer as a digital download. Then I have the actual coloring page for the month. Then I do also like to track the physical mail that I send out on Patreon. I will be starting this month properly, so I have that in here. And then I have my monthly calendar wallpapers that I'm putting out. So I've been doing that for all of this year, basically, to have a desktop and a phone wallpaper going out every month. And just to make sure that I'm keeping track of that, I have it here. And then If you've been keeping up, I also have a calendar blog post that I put out every month, basically describing the thought and the inspiration behind that month's illustration, which is there in the calendar. I don't know if it sounds confusing, but just need to keep track of that. Make sure that I put it out every month. And then, of course, I have my newsletter that also goes out every single month. This section here that you see, time frame, this is just for me to understand what time frame I'm covering in the particular thing that I'm talking about. For example, the monthly calendar blog post, I like to post this at the beginning of the month so I can cover the thought and inspiration by about the upcoming month or the next month, and tell people about what they can expect in the calendar for the coming month. So that's why it says next month. I don't know if that was confusing, but that's kind of the thought that I had in my head. Letters from Ness, for example, that's my newsletter, and mostly in my newsletter I cover what I did in the past month, which is why the time frame for that is the past month. And then I have a section here, just I did like a quick button thing, because again, if I have to keep tracking everything one by one, I will not do it. So I just have a button here that if I click it, and if I don't have something that's in progress, it'll already be sent to the complete status. For example, my monthly coloring page, if let's say I'm working on it, I'm in progress, and I haven't marked it as complete, I haven't marked it as in progress, I can just click complete here and it'll automatically go to the complete. This sounds so silly that I had to make a button for this, but it just, my brain feels better when I do that. Anyways, then just for my reference, I have if it's recurring weekly or monthly section over here, and the platform that it goes on. That is basically all there is to my content tracker. This is the only thing that I track. I don't feel the need, and especially for myself, to track anything else other than this. So this has been working really well so far. And under that, what I do have is sort of a daily log timesheet kind of thing. Over here, I like to keep track of the things that I am doing in a day, but only mostly work related. So I don't put anything personal on here, just to keep track of what work items that I've completed. That's what this space is for. For example, I will just put here filming, digital tools, YouTube video. There you go. That's all. And again, to tell you a little bit more about this, I have tried the intense time tracking system, where you track every half hour or every hour the things that you've done. I tried that. Again, got a little too much for me, but I did need some way to backtrack and keep an account of things that I was doing and was in fact getting done. So that's what this is, a very simplified version of that, and it works great. I love it. But yeah, this is what I use Notion specifically for. Everything else is sort of moved onto the in-house Apple apps, or I don't really know what they're called, but the apps from Apple, when you get an Apple device and it comes with it. I don't know what they're called. I would like to say here also that the way that I use those programs or tools, literally any other app that does similar things, you can you can use it the way I use it, because I don't even use those apps to their fullest potential. It's literally, again, the simplest thing you can do with them. And I know that I'm not utilizing them completely, but what I'm doing right now is working really great. So I guess we can move on to the reminders app. Now this, before we get into this, I have the Google Notes, Google Keep. What is it called? Yes, Google Keep. I have Google Keep on my phone. I have an Android, so it's not a part of the ecosystem, but I like to use Google Keep to just jot down ideas that come to me in the moment, and as and when they come up, I make sure that I put down what I'm thinking. I have like a separate page on Google Keep where I just keep compiling everything. I do also have a pocket book, which is where did it go? Found it. So this is my pocketbook. This is also where I jot down a lot of my ideas, especially if I need to expand on them, maybe draw things out or illustrate things or something like that. I will also put that in here. But once all of that is combined, every few days I like to go into my Apple reminders and put them all down in all of these lists that I have. If I'm working on my system and I'm already on my system and I get an idea, I just enter it into the inbox just as it is. For example, let's try something. Let's do videos, and the video idea is let's just do this one. Okay, digital tools that I use to stay sane as an artist. That's it. That's just where it goes. And to keep track of the nature of the task that I'm adding here, I will sort of put which platform that it goes to, what kind of task that it is, if it's filming or something, and then I will also put whether it's personal, educational, or promotional or something like that. And these are actually smart lists, which means you can organize them by hashtags. There's a lot that you can do with smart lists. Again, I don't know much about it. I just use the hashtags to categorize all of the tasks that I have. So if I've got personal and video and YouTube in here, that specific task is going to show up in my video ideas page, because in this one I have put it as a filter, so anything that has the hashtag video, it will just show up in here. And these things I can just move around. I'm gonna put it in YouTube, and that's it. That's all there is. In the actual specific lists that I have just classified them as the kind of content that goes out. This is just a Kanban or columns view. If you go into your views and you put as columns, this is what it'll show up as. It's not exactly Kanban, but it's similar, just in like one below the other kind of thing, and you can divide them up as columns. So of course, I've got the reels ideas, I've got carousels, I've got static posts, and it's all admin tasks. Then I have the thing for Patreon. I don't have that intense of a list for this thing, so I don't really use a column view, so I can see everything like this. Again, any idea that I have that I want to create for Patreon, I just put it in here. Then I've got shop ideas, products that I want to create, or any admin tasks or anything. My ideas for blog posts, I don't have any right now. Then I've got my ideas for YouTube, and also videos that might go up on Patreon. And then lastly, website tasks. Again, this is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, any kind of idea that I have, this isn't really a to-do list as such. It's just if I have an idea and I want to think about it, I want to expand on it, I just put it in here and it's great. And you can see these are all of my tags. And yeah, that's just how my reminders is organized. I use reminders not really for reminding me, but more as a list of ideas and things that I want to get done maybe someday. That's what reminders are there for. Okay, on to the next one. The next Apple app that I use is Apple Notes. And the way that I use Apple Notes is more of like a catch-all for any kind of scripts that I have, or any kind of written content that I have. So YouTube scripts for reels, or blogs, or anything written that I need to do. I just use Apple Notes for that. And again, over here I have everything categorized based on the platform that they're going to go on, or the kind of script or written material that it is. Firstly, we've got letters from Ness, which is my monthly newsletter that I send out. I don't always write them here, but mostly this is where it originates. And one thing that I like to do is I actually use the dictate function on the thing that's available on the keyboard, and I speak the block that I want to write, and once I have like sort of a rough draft of it, I go in and I make all the edits and make it look nicer and read fancy. Yeah. Okay, that's for newsletters. Then I have my digital journal, which are the blogs that go up on my website. I have a folder for the calendar blogs that I have. All of them also originate in here. Then I have the ones for the artist way. I haven't done this in ages. Probably should get back to it soon, but yeah, those also originate here. And I also have other miscellaneous blogs that come. I haven't worked on many other blogs because of the calendar blogs that I'm doing every month. I would love to, and we should probably work on that, but one step at a time. And then I also have something like a folder for just work. This is really random. I don't know what this folder is for, but anything that I don't know where to put, I just put it here, work related. Then I also have a folder for Patreon, in which I've got the Patreon blogs, the written stuff that goes on Patreon, and then I've got the scripts for the podcasts that go up on Patreon as well. Mostly like this one, for the podcast, I only put down my talking points and not actually the actual script for it. It works fine. I mean, that's the kind of vibe that I want, that it's, spontaneous and in the moment kind of thing. So I don't really write out an intensive script as such, but I do like to have some talking points to go off of. Then I've got things for clients and commissions. This is just a template that I created for cold emails to publishers that I could send to show them my portfolio and my work. Then these are the scripts that I have, scripts for YouTube and scripts for Reels. Then I have personal, I don't have anything in here, but mostly if I'm trying to write down a letter for somebody or any writing that I need to do for personal things, that's where this goes. And yeah, that's how my written content is organized. The next app that I use, it's not on the desktop, but I use it on my iPad. It is called Freeform. It's basically like a big whiteboard kind of app, and basically what I use it for is taking down client or notes during client meetings or any kind of jotting down that I need to do to remember things. That's what I use Freeform for. I love how you can, it's like almost in infinity space that you can use to jot down things, and I love that. So that's what I use Freeform for. And yeah, those are all of the apps that I use to stay organized. Everything else that you're probably wondering, oh, what about this and what about this, how does she organize this, most likely I don't. I work a lot better if I just let myself be creative, be spontaneous in creating the things that I want to create, and only tracking the essentials has helped me do that. I know that I'm a lot more motivated following the system. I feel a lot more accomplished because I'm listening to how I'm feeling and the direction that I want to be heading in, and it certainly has reduced the amount of burnout that I have because I'm not constantly tracking things. Because just for me personally, tracking what I'm doing made me more tired than actually doing the things. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just how it's worked for me. I used to feel really guilty about not having planned 30 days of content in advance or not having everything ready beforehand, because I'm seeing everybody else. It's like they must be so organized, they have an online presence. I should be like that. I should have everything ready and not have to worry about keeping track of things. But I just work better emotionally and intuitively if I follow how I'm feeling rather than the things that I have to be doing. So yeah, that's a little peek into how I organize my life as an artist. Super simple, nothing over designed, over complicated, or even complicated for that matter. This is just what helps me keep going without feeling overwhelmed. As long as I can see a direction, I'm good. I hope this gives you some ideas, or at least a little bit of comfort if you've also been feeling like traditional systems just don't work for you, and that's okay. It's okay to build something that fits your brain and your rhythm. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, there's an airplane. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'd love to know how you stay organized, or if you've also simplified or felt the need to simplify your creative workflow or your systems or your organization or anything like that. I'd love to know. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.